Right, I know. So I just making this video specifically for us inside of the group right here. So based on the picture that Ano just sent, right? If you check this out, based on the video I literally just recorded before even seeing this message, I'm showing you where this is all good and dandy to see, but the best place to be involved in the market would be up here when it's sloping upward. So the easiest way to identify if you want to be in a part of the market is when your MAs are both sloping upward crazily, because if this is your higher time frame that's sloping upward, then when you scale down, the likelihood is that you have hundreds of opportunities, obviously not hundreds, but you have a lot of opportunities inside of these spaces for you to actually get involved. Worse when it taps the MA to move forward. That's when you want to be involved in this. So like this right here is a beautiful top of the MA coming down and then rising back up. Now while you're up here and see this also start to rise in here, this is when you want to start to get involved on the lower time frames, because this right here, this action right here is the exact same action as this right here, this entire thing right here, and then this entire thing right here, and then this entire thing right here. It's the same thing, so just on a smaller scale, because remember everything is fractal, which is the same thing as this, which is the same thing as this entire thing right here. So you want to get involved once you see price start to move away and everything starts to slope up. That's when you scale down. As soon as you see it start to slope up, scale down. This right here, here's the same thing right here as this. Where, in other words, wherever you see a lot of plots, that's where you probably don't want to trade on that time frame, because that's where accumulation and distribution is happening, right? You want to trade on the parts that you don't see the plots, which is the crazy part, because see, like this area here, you barely see plots. That's where you want to be on the lower time frame, trading the plots, right? But if you see a lot of plots on your specific time frame, that's obviously where you don't want to be trading. So you obviously know that that's where consolidation is happening, right? Very simply put. And once you have that understanding, this is going to change the game entirely. Like, can I pull up my chart? Yes, I can. Again, no. So let me pull this right here and look at this. So look, see, on the daily chart, let me see. You barely see plots when price is moving. When price is moving, you barely see plots. But whenever you start to see plots popping up, that's when you know, okay, it's more than likely going to start consolidating, right? But in a moving market, when you see price moving, and then you see one plot, that's the one that you want to get in on to continue. And then you see price moving again, and then one plot, that's the one you want to get in on continue. But if you saw one plot, two plots, three plots, get away from it, because that's not where you want to be. You want to wait until that specific time frame is moving away, and as soon as it moves away, that's when you scale down, because now you know that that time frame is pushing, continuing. And then on the lower time frame, so for example, if I just do this, and you see, okay, our MAs are starting to slope up again, this right here, MA started to slope down. So even if a plot came here, we wouldn't be interested. We don't care. We want to see both MAs sloping upward. This one on the daily chart, if you were executing on the daily chart, would have been a beautiful trade to take right here. You can't get any simpler than this. There's no confusion here. You can see what you're doing, right? That would have been blessed. Now, guess what? It's not that clear. Let's get down to the lower time frame. So like daily, 1 hour, 5 minutes is what I have right here. What we can do is this. So from here, let's just do the replay, because we already know exactly what happens. But let's see how we would get down in here and scale. Why? Because remember, it's the same thing. I want to see price do this and then start to move away, right? Price does this and then start to move away. Remember, this is on the daily. So once it starts to move away and you see your MA is starting to slope, you're super early in the trend. Do realize that this area right here birthed all of this and birthed all of this. So you understand, it's the same thing. So we start to see price moving, and then come back, and then it'll start to move away. What are we doing right here? Let's just do this and then go on to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, you're going to obviously start to see like Look at this. Look at the plots that you see right here. Remember, this is the daily zone right here. Look at the plots that you get to see right here. You're doing the same concept. That area starts to move away from the daily and starts to move away, move away. You start to see price come back and tap into here. Starts to do what? Build up, and starts to move away again. Here's the slope. Here's the slope. Remember? So in here, you're wanting to look for that 5-minute trade. What do? We jump, because we already know what happens again. So we just jump right here. And then from here, we do the same thing like this with this big bubble here. This is where we want to look to get involved, because that came down there, tapped the MA, like I just said inside of the rules. Or even if it didn't tap, it created what? A liquidity target top, an hourly one, at least this time, right? So this one here is on the hourly. So now we're looking for that liquidity target top to do what? Be ran on. I don't care if it took that long, right? But more than likely, we do care if it takes that long. Why? Because we want the MAs to continuously slope up, which proves momentum, which proves power, which proves money is there. So now if we go down to the 5-minute and start to look for plots in there, tell me what we see. You tell me what we see. Come on, I can't make this shit up. More than likely, you probably wouldn't have taken this, or I wouldn't have taken this, because I don't see enough sloping right here. And then we down there. But obviously, if you wanted to, subjectively, that would have been your trade. You'd have been in right here on that. And that just F's off to the upside. Otherwise, let's say I would have waited till I saw my sloping MAs and I see that slope. I'm literally getting in on this one. I probably would have taken a loss right there. But I'm getting in on this one. I'm getting in on this one. Because guess what? MAs are sloping upward. Guess what? Look at that. And let's just say you only, because based on the rules, I only take the one plot, right? So then guess what? I wouldn't have taken this one then, because I didn't see my MAs cross yet and I didn't see that proper slope. Now guess what? I start to see this. Guess what I start to see? This is why it's beautiful, because guess what? I wait until another plot pops up then, because maybe I just didn't like this one. But this proves momentum. This proves momentum, so I can just chill out and wait. And remember, I'm super early. If I just do this, that's the 5-minute. And then the 1 hour, I'm super early in the trend still, right? So look at the 1 hour over here in conjunction to this. I'm super early still in the trend. Therefore, this is where we're at, right? I'm now looking at this. I see my MAs start to come back down. I see this one start to slope upward. I like it. I may have taken it. I may not have taken it. Even if I did, I'm just showing you, I still would have been in the money. I'm just showing you, because my stop loss would have been under here. But I probably would have even waited even a little bit more. Maybe, who knows? But that one still works. This one here starts to slope up. This one here works as well. So these 3 plots definitely worked. And remember, these are higher chances. These are ones that have a higher chance of winning, because they're already sloping up on the 5-minute, and your 1 hour has already confirmed and started to slope upwards. This is powerful. Now, this is the one that I probably would have definitely gotten into. Why? Because this one starts to slope up really heavy, and it's just, yeah, the sloping action is what would have taken me definitely to get into this. And obviously, you get into your management. This here goes right there. This one here goes right here. As in, I just showing max potential. Before coming back, this one probably would have stopped me out, break even right there. So this one here, sorry, goes right there. These ones here obviously don't return for now, so these ones can go up here. So probably a 1 to 10 on that one, 1 to 8, and then this one here max out at 1 to 6. That's how I would be approaching this, because this is where we want to get involved, when it's sloping up on the 1 hour, sloping up on the 5-minute. That's when it starts to, you know what I mean? That's when the trend is starting to establish itself. And now all we do is wait for this thing to either continue going up or prove that it wants to reset and do whatever it wants to do, right? So we wait. Let it prove itself to do whatever it wants to do. Now it comes back down. Who knows? But you get the gist of this, right? Great. Comes back down. And then guess what? On the 1 hour, you're waiting. You're waiting for the same setup. For it to dip, come up, come back around. See, same way, just like this. Look at your 5-minute. Look at the 5-minute. 5-minute starting to slope right here. So now what we're doing is waiting for a plot to pop up now and start to slope upward so that we can continue taking this trade to the upside. That's what we're doing right now. And there's that trade, and here's where we get in. As you can see, you see, we started to slope up here on the 1 hour, and this 1 hour here created another plot, but we already know that we're already bullish, so we're starting to look for this, right? So it's easy here. Look at this, starting to slope up, starting to slope up. Boom, we got in on that one. Boom, break even at 1 to 2. Cool, so we're not break even as yet. Not break even as yet. Now we're break even, and this thing just goes. Maybe returns, maybe it doesn't return. Look at this, look at this, bro. Look at this. You understand? This is what we're talking about. And then maybe on the 1 hour it just keeps on going, or it returns, who knows, but then it continues the trend. You understand? I didn't know exactly what was gonna happen just now, but that's the rules. Those are the rules. Those are the rules. And remember, this one here came and tapped this right here, so you could have definitely started to look for trades in here. And then this one finally comes back down and then stops us out right there. But this one runs max potential to 1 to 16. Of course, you'd have management in here, so more than likely you take off whatever you take off in those sections or whatever the case is. But this is the way to look at it. And guess what? The trend isn't done as yet, because remember, on the daily now, what are we looking at? On the daily, we just started the trend. So there's no reason to start selling anything. If it's anything, you're starting to look to continue to look upwards. And we already know exactly what happens on gold. This thing shoots all the way to the upside. So this is how you get into that trade. Because guess what? If you repeat this same process that we just did in this entire video here, if you repeat that process, what will happen is that you're going to get into one of these trades that price never will return to. And it just F's off to the upside. Look on the daily chart here. It just F's off to the upside. And that's how you get these insane RRs. That is how you do it. We already know exactly what happens here. Let me just come off of this and then show you. Come on, see? We already know exactly what happens right here. And guess what? Don't you think I would have been involved in one of these? See, the MA is starting to slope up, starting to slope up. Right? MA is starting to slope up, MA is starting to slope up. One of these trades I would have been in on, and price would have just continued to push up to here. What RR is this? You don't even want to know. 418. I mean, but it's now we're being saved graciously with how we're thinking and approaching this. Like, remember, so like, look at this, just a random example. On the 1 hour, we see this happening. We're not involved. Why? Because we see too many plots in one area. We don't care. We want to see price move off to a direction. Now it starts to move off to the upside. Now what we do, we wait for it to dip, come back, give us a plot. And here's the video just finishing. So I just finished that video. That video just done. Literally, that I told you about in the beginning of this video. And I'm about to post that one, and then I can post this one after when I'm done. But yes, so look at this. Price just comes up, gives the plot, and in the 5 minute, this is where we're looking now for trades to continue going upward. Why? Because we anticipate that this wants to continue to the upside up here. But then obviously you get in, more than likely you get involved somewhere down in here, and then this just fails, and it's okay. It's perfectly fine. What you're doing is waiting on the next thing to happen again. Here, you see too many plots in one area. You see your MA is below that MA. You're not trading here. So this is great. This saves you a lot. Now, you see it push up, leaves that area, and then comes back down, dips, gives you a plot. Now it closed below here. You're not interested. You're just chilling. You're waiting. You get another plot. You're looking somewhere in the 5 minute here to push this thing up higher because you're anticipating it to go higher. Doesn't do that. That's okay. And then it ranges, right? So this is how you're looking at it. And this is where live price is right now. So price came up, pushed away from here, came, dipped under here, came up. See, this is why I said it's not perfect, but a plot should have been right here. And guess what? On the 5 minute, you're involved somewhere like right here or something like that, while it's pushing up and the MAs in here are sloping. I can guarantee you the MAs right in here are sloping. Why? Because you see this price action right here. So if I go to the replay bar really quick, and then I go to the 5 minute, look at this. look at this. Here's your MA sloping. So see, down here, your MAs are not sloping. You don't care about this. You see price push away. Once you see price push away, you know, say, okay, cool, established. The market is moving. Now you get this, boom. This is where you get in. This is where you got in. Your stop loss is right under that low. Boom. This one here didn't go for a crazy runner, obviously, but break even at 1 to 2. So at least you break even, right? And then obviously it comes back down and stop you out. Boom. You get stopped out. But that's how you look at this. And guess what? You see this thing coming up and dipping again. That would be one that you could take to go to the upside. I wouldn't. You know why? Because guess what? I didn't get that dip under here and then reestablishment of the trend going. So right now this can play around in here, and I wouldn't trust that. Let's see what it does. If it goes, it goes. If it not, well, there you go. You see? So I wouldn't have taken none of this. On the 5 minute, that's a very good one to take right there. Actually, that's a very good one that if you wanted to take, that you could take. But again, like I said, I want to see it come back down in here, dip, and then give me a proper setup. Otherwise, I'm not that interested in, you know what I mean, following that. So there you go. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you got a lot from this video as well. See, MA is sloping, going up. Doesn't really matter because more than likely gonna chop you out. It's just playing around right there at this point. There you go. You see? So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you got a lot from this. Big up yourself. Peace.